Welcome to what ain't gonna be my final YouTube video, but what may very well be the beginning of the end. I'm sure by now y'all figured out that I like LBRY and I don't particularly like YouTube. I prefer to like YouTube. I'm not one of those who just straight up goes to one platform and stays on it. Generally speaking, it's always good to put videos in multiple platforms to get the most attention possible and have the widest of audiences. But YouTube is just simply not working anymore and has a lot of flaws that have been discussed by many other YouTubers as well. The biggest of which is that YouTube just simply censors its users. And, I mean, this is America. I know YouTube is an international platform, but still. I live in America, where there's supposed to be freedom of speech. And I get that depends on the company. If the company wants freedom of speech and YouTube doesn't. But overall, it's kind of an American tradition that there is freedom of speech. So if a company denies freedom of speech, that company looks bad, and a lot of people would want to move to a different company. And that's exactly what's happening here. This isn't even really the main point of why I'm making this video, because YouTube has denied freedom of speech in many ways for many, many years. The kind of most blatant example of which, and it's not even necessarily a negative because I get why they do it, is that YouTube doesn't allow for quote-unquote adult content, like the type of content that's legal at 18 and over. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. And that content is on LBRY, and I have no problem with that. That's sort of the most blatant example so people get what I'm talking about. There's also some individual other examples that you can look up too that are kind of on a creator by creator basis, but just on a broad platform. That's a fairly main difference between the LBRY and YouTube. Of course, that's not the main reason I'm only moving the LBRY, because I don't make that type of content. To be honest, I've kind of thought about doing reviews of that type of content on LBRY. It's gone through my mind before because, well, I've done special takings of Gran Turismo Sport, and they sort of kind of fucked me over, and so those kind of go together. How many times I've been screwed by GG Sports? Well, maybe I could review some real life stuff. Or some animated stuff, I don't know. Are y'all into that? I don't. Thought about making a channel just for that, but LBRY also still deals with copyright claims and stuff. If somebody downright steals content, the content gets taken down, so I don't really know how that works on reviews. If I review content that I unknowingly know is stolen because I didn't know it was stolen, does mine stay up because it's a review? I'm not really sure. I know in general reviews are supposed to be legal. YouTube thinks they're not, but I'm not sure on the legal ground of it if it's technically reviewing stolen content on no matter the platform. So I'm not sure about that. Maybe some channels are guaranteed to have their own content. I would hope that exists on LBRY somewhere, but I don't know. That's sort of more just an intro to the video as a whole. Because this video as a whole is going to talk about how YouTube is failing for my part. There's many YouTubers that have discussed YouTube's fails on their part, but here's a specific for mine. To begin with, I had to upload these on LBRY because YouTube does not do images. LBRY does images and MP4s, and just LBRY is simply better than YouTube. I could move over to LBRY right now because it's better and I have a bigger following there. But I still, again, I try to do multiple platforms to overall spread the content as far as it goes. And I started on YouTube as well. I mean, technically I started on GT Planet, but I didn't. GT Planet doesn't know how to make videos. You can actually post media now on GT Planet, but I don't think it's directly videos. I think it's like pictures and like GIFs and stuff. I don't know. I could check on that. I actually just now did media on GT Planet recently for the first time. But YouTube, the issue with me right now, YouTube is falsely copywriting videos that shouldn't be copyrighted, and they're still doing it. I've made an entire video on this before about how you can fix the issue. And while the issue can still be fixed, you have to manually do it every cotton picking time you live stream. And that's just too much of a chore to do. And I figured out now. In the past video that I made, I couldn't really tell whose fault it was. If it was on the music creator's fault for falsely copywriting claims that have already been issued not copyright, so therefore the music creator shouldn't be making money there because it's in the free domain. If it's Gran Turismo's fault for just not realizing there is copyrighted music in the music that's supposed to be non-copyrighted, or if it's YouTube's fault for falsely claiming a video that has no copyrighted music whatsoever because Gran Turismo and the music creator both say it's non-copyrighted. But yeah, I figured it out. It's YouTube's fault. Because now on YouTube, when I click the videos that have false copyright claims, the most recent live streams I've done don't even show the music at the bottom. Like the old live streams showed where it would say this music is used in a video, it links to that music, and then it says listen ad 3 with blah blah blah. I don't do that anyway because I use AdBlock browser. Everyone uses AdBlock browser, especially for YouTube. Don't allow for music creators to get quote unquote 100% of money from a video if it's a video of Gran Turismo Sport, which barely has anything to do with the music in it, and the music is only used for like 2% of the video. That's total bullshit. And y'all may notice that I'm cussing in this video, and that's supposed to be more rantating and such. But that's part of this whole video as a whole. Rantating went to YouTube and then ultimately to LBRY because I started out on YouTube because while YouTube has always censored people, I figured that it wasn't necessarily going to make my content less viewable because ranting's more clickbaity than this channel, because just sort of by default, by the nature of the channel, it makes sense to be. And while yes, I've had some videos on ranting get over 100 views, I noticed that as I kept ranting going, the views got less and less and less to the point of I even did a PD Logic video, which in the old days always got well over 100 views. The last PD Logic video that I did got like 12 views on ranting on YouTube. That's a drop of 10 times. So our ranting started off doing better than expected. By the end, it was doing... I mean, again, I never expected this channel to get nearly this big on either platform. So technically better than expected 5 years ago, but in 2019, it's statistically speaking should have done better given what it did before. So then I moved ranting to LBRY, and it did a lot better. I'm saying that right now, and ranting will continue. But why this video ain't on ranting is because this may be the last video I put effort to put on YouTube. Again, I'm not necessarily saying I'm completely going away from YouTube because different platforms and such, but if y'all want it, I'll do it. Because it's obvious my channel's bigger on LBRY than it is on YouTube now, and I don't mean that as a positive or negative. I just mean that advertising LBRY on YouTube, y'all listened and gone over, and I very much thank y'all for that. So, I mean, if all y'all watching this on YouTube or also on LBRY, it's redundant. Put it down in the comments whether it be YouTube or LBRY or whatever, if you want me to move over. Because if everybody's watching it on LBRY anyway, then what's the point of doing it on YouTube? Because if everybody's already moved over to the better platform, I'll just abandon the worst platform. I'll give it some time to let everybody move over once they see this video and such, but still. A few weeks from now, I might be fully on LBRY. But now, to actually showing what I mean about the false copyright claims. I had to upload this on LBRY again because YouTube does not do images. So that's total BS in and of itself. But anyway, this is the picture. What this shows is that each live stream I've done on GG Sport with the transmission mode, which is copyright-free music, still gets copyright claimed. I'll zoom in so y'all can see it better. There we go. And again, I already said how I figured that out. And then here's proof. I posted the picture on LBRY. But yet another benefit of LBRY too, and it's sort of minor, but it still is a benefit, is LBRY runs on the PS4 browser. This is what I'm using for this because PS4 is hooked directly to the big TV, and it's just better to record this on a big TV than a laptop that's like 40% of the size of the TV. That just makes a lot more sense. But LBRY runs on this browser perfectly fine. It's kind of sort of slow, but ultimately it does run of the same quality. It just takes longer to load. YouTube, which existed when the PS4 browser came out, obviously, does not run on the PS4 browser. You cannot play a video on YouTube directly on the PS4 browser. They force you to use that app that, in and of itself, is iffy, because I might very well even sell that in this video, I'll see. But for now, this is this, and this is total bullshit. Could I put this video on Rantating? Theoretically, but again, Rantating is purely LBRY. And I want to put this on YouTube to showcase on YouTube the flaws of YouTube, because that just makes it have more of a purpose. But anyway, to the next point of the video. This part of the video is saying how YouTube might be forcing me to move to LBRY. Because the false copywriting claims is downright shitty, but I can change that if I put time into it. It's not really worth the effort to do so, because it shouldn't happen in the first place. It's YouTube's fault. YouTube's put in the effort, and this has happened well before coronavirus as well. This has been happening for many, many, many months. But now, the actual music producers have put in effort even during all this, where it doesn't even say at the bottom of the video anymore their music is copyrighted, go to here to listen to it for free. Which means the music producers have even said that it's not copyrighted. Because YouTube falsely copyrights it and doesn't even put the music at the bottom anymore because the music itself isn't copyrighted. It's purely YouTube's fault. But this is so much of YouTube's fault that I'm not even sure if I can upload videos on YouTube anymore. I don't know what happened. This is the first time it happened, but I did nothing different. And this video just completely froze at 70%. I've had this happen one other time in the whole history of me doing YouTube. It happened on the kart race video with GT Sport, the one where I raced in the top split and finished 4th. One of my more well-liked and not necessarily popular in terms of views, but popular in terms of fan support videos. I'm very much glad of that because it was one of the better races I was ever in. The only reason that happened because of that video is because at that point in time, my internet was so slow that I had a new phone recording on better resolution, and the video was about 40 minutes long. That was the longest video I did by that point. And the internet was just simply too slow to finish it. But then once I got to my college, after summer vacation, the video was fine. So that was an internet problem. This is most certainly not an internet problem, because this video I tried to upload is an upcoming video. It's still loading, but once it loads, what I'm going to show is that this video I was uploading, it's special-tating for later on when it did upload. But the problem is it never uploaded. This picture is from about 12 hours ago. And as of now, this video is still on 70% uploading. It doesn't say there's any errors. It doesn't say it quit loading. It's been on 70% uploaded, 40-something minutes left for 12 hours now, and I've done nothing different. What it says when you upload these videos is make sure to always leave this screen tab open. I do it on my phone because I record on my phone, and that's just the easiest way of doing it. And the tab is always open. I've had this particular, like, the YouTube Studio tab open on my phone since I've got my phone 2 years ago or so. And y'all have even seen the video of I said I was going to get a new phone, and then I got the new phone and showcased it and such. That was about a little over 2 years ago now. And Never had a problem till now, except for again the one time my internet just wasn't fast enough to do it. But now it's happening, and I did literally nothing different. That tab that it said to keep open has been open for 2 years with no problems whatsoever. But now all of a sudden it fucked up, and I have no idea why. YouTube is just straight up fucking me over to the point of I don't see any point in staying. I've never had this problem with LBRY. Now, generally with LBRY, I will do I post a video first on YouTube, and then it will end up on LBRY later. And I'll admit, as much as I'm supporting LBRY here, that process is gradually getting slower. When I started doing this, it took about a day, 24 hours, for that to happen, and that's what they advertise. It takes about 24 hours. But at January or so, it generally got to about 36 hours, and then from all this happening, though also from all this happening, LBRY has grown a whole heck of a heap, so there's more of it happening. Well, I've had videos go as long as 6 days to load on this. Though, to be fair, the most recent video that came from YouTube has taken, where y'all can see the video, y'all know how long that took to actually happen. Not terribly long. I can't complain too much. That Mazda video has been on LBRY for about 2 days now, and then it came out. Again, I did the live stream as the Mazda update came out, so that's not terrible. That came up in, I think, roughly 24 hours again. But it's hit or miss. But the thing with that is that it's still slower than just directly uploading the video. And LBRY has, this is a simple fact, I have more followers on LBRY than I do on YouTube. And the thing about that, too, is that I get that on YouTube, when I started LBRY, I had a little over 170 followers. Now, I have a little over 170 followers. So I understand that people are listening to the LBRY thing and going there. So, to a small extent, I am quote-unquote hurting my YouTube channel, having the channel on LBRY, but my channel on LBRY is gaining over 10 followers a day. The most followers I've ever got on YouTube, and I don't mean that as a negative whatsoever, because again, I've always said, and I would say, I never expected my channel to even get 17 subscribers on YouTube, and now it has 170. I never expected my channel on LBRY to get 30 followers, and now it has 300, so not complaining in the slightest, but just saying, the most subscribers in a day I've ever gotten on YouTube is 5. And I was very much proud of that moment. That happened right there in the peak of my GT Sport closed beta days, and that was actually also the day that I got over 50 subscribers. I went from like 48 subscribers to 53 subscribers in a day, and I did the video in which I read everybody's content, or everybody's comment throughout my entire channel on that video. Actually, that was in 2 parts of the video. 2 videos, 2 parts of that to read all the comments. But that was quite good. That was amazing even, especially for the time. I'm getting double that daily on LBRY now. And I'm not doing any more content than I was then, anywhere close. I was doing way more content then. And with a much more fresh string of content. GG Sport closed beta was new then. Not everyone had it then. So it was a win-win. People could see the content of the game then. And it was new content to see. Now, I mean, let's face it. GG Sport's kind of sort of dead. We're waiting for GT7 at this point. There's not all that much that can be done given what's going on in the entire world and what's going on with Gran Turismo in general. The simple fact of they're working on the next Gran Turismo. It's better be GT7 or again, I'm getting an Xbox next generation, Series X or whatever. I don't even care if it happens at launch. I just want it to be GT7 and not GT Sport 2. But anyway, that's a different video that I've kind of already discussed. If this video just simply does not load on YouTube, it's going to have to be a LBRY exclusive, and I tried everything to make it continue loading. I've done everything but what it said to never do is close the tab. I've never closed the tab. I've refreshed the tab. I've opened different parts of the tab. I've tried to edit the video within that tab, but I've always kept that tab open. And it's still just stuck on 70% for no reason whatsoever. My internet has not gone out since I started the video. And even then, it has gone out when a video was uploading, and it still finished uploading later. It just started again when the internet came back up. Because that's not even an issue if that did happen. I literally have no idea why this happened. Granted, it might be a fluke, but this is the old saying of the straw that broke the camel's back. This is much more than a straw, and I'm not exactly as strong as a camel when I really don't need to be whatsoever when I already have a bigger channel on LBRY. This is sort of kind of the equivalent of a stone that broke a human's back, which could definitely happen. But, I mean, I don't even think people at YouTube care anymore. They're just throwing stones at me, and the sticks and stones can definitely break my bones. And at this point, they sort of break my bonds with YouTube. Is again, I want YouTube to be good. I'm not one of those that just always going to be on one media platform forever. I will say, though, that I'm generally loyal to all platforms. Like, I don't want to move away from anything. But YouTube is just getting worse and worse. And even for me directly, like, I understand there's the general blah, blah, blah drama alert versus HRE crap that just doesn't matter to 99% of people. And I get that this doesn't even matter to anyone but the people watching this video. But if you're still watching this video 22 minutes in, whether you've watched the whole thing or skipped to this point or whatever it may be, it's obvious that this matters to you. And I don't want to hurt you because YouTube is hurting me. And at this point, we've all, statistically speaking, have moved the LBRY. There's no way to tell how many of my YouTube subscribers are actually LBRY followers. But it's fairly obvious it's a fair few. Statistically speaking, it's technically all because I have more on LBRY than it is on YouTube. But I know how real life statistics work, like in practice and not on paper, that not every single subscriber I have on YouTube has moved to LBRY just because I've been on YouTube for about 5 years, so that's just not feasible. But of those who usually will watch my videos, if all of y'all move to LBRY, I'm perfectly fine with completely moving over as well. Really about the only problem with this, and I actually haven't tested it in a few months, so it might not even be a true problem anymore, though it is somewhat of a different process, which may or may not be a problem. I don't know. Again, I haven't tested it in a few months. Is that YouTube just easily posts on other platforms. Like YouTube, I just put the link, and I'd post it on Car Throttle or GT Planet or whatever it may be. Car Throttle's sort of kind of dead, though. But that's also because Car Throttle started on YouTube, and YouTube is dying, so it makes sense that Car Throttle kind of has to. If Car Throttle goes to the LBRY, that would be incredible. But anyway, GT Planet seems about as big as ever, and will get bigger when GT7 happens and all that, as usual. And I can just post the YouTube link directly to GT Planet, and it loads. GT Planet has a process where it just puts YouTube videos directly into media format, and it works. It doesn't seem to work with LBRY, and again, I haven't tested it in a few months because the LBRY has the thing where the YouTube videos just end up going there anyway. But if I don't put the video on YouTube to begin with and just put it directly on LBRY, then I'd be posting a LBRY link. And if that doesn't work, that does suck. Why, I'd assume you can just click the URL and go there. It doesn't actually embed the video, that I can tell. Again, maybe it does, but there'd be a different process to do it, and I'd have to figure it out. Last time I tried it, it didn't work, no matter what I did. So that's not ideal, but it's still a lot better than YouTube censoring me and simply just not uploading videos. They're censoring me and everyone. That's not fair. This is America. And again, international platform, but still, There's better platforms out there, and it's obvious. And they're not just censoring me, they're then falsely copyrighting me. That's why I don't make videos, or I don't make money from videos on YouTube. Well, I might show something in a minute that's total BS to end off the video. And then to end off of this part, to sum it up, is that if I just simply can't upload videos to YouTube now, I don't know the reason for it. That one didn't load. It might be a fluke. It might be every video from now on to doing that. I don't know. I'm going to try my very best to get this video on YouTube. I'll say that. I'm going to do everything in my power to do it. Even have to sit there and look at the screen for 2 hours straight to make sure it doesn't fuck up. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm not going to do it continuously. This video will hopefully be a wake-up call to, yeah, alright, YouTube's not going to change bullshit. For me, you're the biggest fucking YouTuber on the platform. YouTube doesn't give a shit. I get all this going on that they might not be able to physically give a shit right now. But still, they didn't give a shit before this happened anyway. They're gonna let their platform die, trying to cling on to the television platforms and stuff, which is downright stupid. And censor all of the YouTube channels. They're gonna cling on to their late night talk shows, and they're gonna cling on to that they live stream baseball and all that and bullshit like that, and they're gonna let their platform die by relying on classic TV. Yeah, that's great. The classic TV that censors their creators and always had since the 40s and 50s. YouTube's doing the same thing. And classic TV that has gradually gone down in ratings for the last 10 years. It's like YouTube is starting to go down in ratings the last few years. And the videos aren't worth as much money in the last bit as they have been before when the LBRY currency is going up. LBRY currency at one point was 1 cent, now it's like 4, and it's been as much as like 6 cents. Yeah. YouTube is terrible. LBRY is gradually getting better. YouTube is vastly and at a pretty fast pace getting worse. May as well jump the ship now before the ship completely sinks. Again, I'll give it a bit, but a bit is a relative term. And that most certainly ain't worth the yeehaw. I'll see how stuff goes if another thing gets added into this video or it's another video of its own or whatever. We'll see on that. This ain't worth a yeehaw in the slightest.